was 15, that's when I got into good shape compared to when I was younger, right? I was obviously not super muscular or strong back then.
I was very selfish and not as family focused growing up.
And having to build a new identity, I think that was the hard part, like letting go of who I believed I was.
Welcome to the Rain from Within show. I'm Shane, your host. Everyone has a story, and some are shaped by shame long before confidence ever shows up. This show is about sitting down one on one with real people, talking through the moments that formed who they became from the inside out. Today's guest is my guy Kushal. He grew up in Nepal, carrying shame about his body in a place where fitness was not part of the culture. Losing weight at a young age changed how he looked, but not how he felt. When he came to the United States on a full ride scholarship, the pressure to make it only added to some confusion, isolation, and identity searching that followed. During COVID, he experienced substance use, some financial mistakes, and starting over in a country that didn't raise him forced Kushal to confront what discipline actually means. It was not built through motivation, but through responsibility and faith in doing the boring work, even when no one's watching, especially. In this convo, we're going to talk about shame and identity and discipline and faith, what it looks like to keep moving forward when you don't have it all figured out. Make sure you like the episode, subscribe for more, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and above all else, enjoy the show. Dude, I'm so grateful to have you here. We met, the intro already talked about it. We met in Florida through Diego. And yeah, you're in Dallas, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, currently I'm living in the Dallas area, and we did meet in Florida last year, 2025 summer. Hopefully again in 2026,
It's
back in Florida.
inevitable, bro. It's inevitable.
Inevitable.
But you grew up in Nepal. That is insane. So you said your weight really shaped how you saw yourself as well. You grew up a little bit overweight. So I want you to get in depth on that. What was that like as a kid growing up in Nepal? A little bit chunky, a little overweight.
Dude, yeah, man. I mean, that was like a defining part of my identity, being heavier than most of the other kids. And obviously I loved soccer, and not being able to play soccer, not being able to participate in activities just because I'm self-conscious. And I mean, that feels like that's the first thing that people see. Hey, this kid is heavy. And, when you're really young, it's cute, right? Like he's this chubby, older girls, they're pulling your cheeks.
Yeah.
But as you get older, you start getting super self-conscious. You don't want to go swimming with the rest of the kids. You want to take off your shirts. So it was a defining part of my identity. Yeah.
No,
Up
I hear
until I
you.
was 15, I was super heavy. Yeah.
Bro, I said it like 5 minutes ago, but dude, you look unrecognizable right now because when I met Kushal, he had this big beard, bro. That's all I know you as. You shaved, bro.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to send you pictures. Yeah, and I'm gonna send you those pictures of when I was heavy too. When I was a kid, I haven't shared those with a lot of people, but I'll send those. Yeah.
So, dude, yes, I totally feel you on that. I played soccer as well. What position were you?
So yeah, because I was heavy, I started out playing defense, but then later on, as I put in more work, started playing forward and as a midfielder. Dude, I just couldn't run. I was so heavy. I had to play defense.
Yeah, talk me through the culture of Nepal because I haven't been there yet. It looks like it's very interesting. I would love to check it out sometime. I'm a big traveler, but what's it like in Nepal? Is it kind of culturally, is there a lot more difficulties to get in better shape versus here?
Absolutely. That's one thing I wanted to talk about is fitness wise. We don't have a huge culture over there. Knowledge, not communities. We don't have anything of that sort. So if you have a desire to be fit, really you're on your own and you have the internet to help you out. These days things are changing, obviously, but let me talk about this. Like, as you may know, the diet is very carb heavy, right? A lot of rice, a lot of lentils. Lentils are considered as the primary source of protein. No eggs, not a lot of eggs, not a lot of meat. So that really like messes you up. You see a lot of people, Nepalese people, they're skinny, but they have a huge belly, right? That's because of the carb heavy diet.
Yeah.
So it's really tough if you're wanting to be fit, fitness wise. They don't have a huge culture over there.
Yeah, that's definitely different. So what percentage would you say of people there are like super super jacked? Like, do you guys have you had good access to the gym and all that, or what was it was more so the diet? You're saying the rice heavy, and that was the biggest hurdle to get over.
Right, the diet, the culture, but like you mentioned, man, you don't see a lot of fit people over there.
Okay.
Only like one or two people at the gym, super jacked, super healthy. You can clearly say that they've put in a lot of work. But even at the gyms, man, like the culture, the normal person, average, like I would be one of the biggest people over there, and I'm not even that big, you know. So I do get a confidence boost when I go to gyms in Nepal, being one of the strongest people. But like I haven't been doing this for that long. For 2 or 3 years, I've been taking it seriously, and already I feel like I'm one of the biggest and strongest people when I go to Nepali gyms. So I feel
Yeah.
like that could give you a picture of what it's like over there.
Got you. Got you. So you said you lost the weight at 15, but it didn't fix everything. So the confidence, right? I totally dealt with the same kind of thing. You mentioned that you got in shape, and then sometimes the mental has to pick up a little bit secondary after the physical, because there's a lot of people that are absolutely jacked, but they have terrible mental health. So where did the confidence, or why do you think the confidence didn't come with it at first initially?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Um, I'm not sure how to answer that one. Let's see. I mean, when I was 15, that's when I got into good shape compared to when I was younger, right? I was obviously not super muscular or strong back then.
Yep.
I just got super, super skinny. Um, but like, I was still living at home. I still hadn't faced any real challenges. I mean, I just started working out more and started cleaning up my diet. So those are the
Mm.
two things I'd controlled to make my life better. So I really hadn't done anything to prove to myself
No,
that, hey, I'm
totally.
worthy of self-respect, you know? I haven't
Yeah,
done much. Yeah.
exactly. We haven't done a lot. And they say confidence is bred by the work you put in. And when you're 15, how much can you do when you're still living at your
Right.
parents and you're still in high school? You just got to high school freshman year, probably for 15. That was when I had my big chest surgery. So
Wow.
that moment when I was around that age as well, hardly any confidence. You just have no skin in the game. You haven't done anything. So
Right.
that totally makes sense. You got skinny, you lost the pudge, and then a few years later, how old were you when you came to the US?
So yeah, I mean, I finished high school when I was 17, a little bit earlier than most kids. So I took a gap year. So I had a year to myself to enjoy. And then I came to the States, Texas, when I was 18.
On a
East
full
Texas,
ride.
on a full ride scholarship. Yes, sir. Out of all
Dude,
the places, I went to East Texas, man.
why did you choose there?
So that was one of the reasons, like you mentioned, I got a full ride scholarship to attend one of the universities over there. So that was my primary reason of going to East Texas. I mean, it's an
Okay,
awesome opportunity. You can't really say no to that, right?
right. So walk me through when you were growing up, did you always want to make it to the US someday?
Ooh. I mean, like we were kind of talking about earlier with the culture, with fitness, and, just self-improvement and being successful. I feel like in Nepal, I wasn't seeing a lot of that.
Right.
A lot of inspiration. I wasn't finding a lot of inspiration in Nepal. So always I had that desire to, explore the world. I mean, with the internet, I was finding inspiration, in people globally.
Mm.
So I've always wanted to, I don't know, leave the country, never really knowing where I wanted to go. Uh, United States was almost an arbitrary decision. I was like, hey, the United States sounds cool. I'm gonna work towards it. So it did take a few years once I had that goal,
Yeah.
but it was almost arbitrary. I mean, I guess because I speak English, I'm familiar with the U.S. culture through movies, music. Maybe that shaped my decision or why I decided to come here. But
Have
I
you always
mean,
spoke English? Does everybody in Nepal speak English?
yeah, so that's one of the things in schools is they push it very heavily. They want you to be global competitors, so
Nice.
they do push English very heavily. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
Diego, our mutual friend, mentioned to me that the way that he learned English was through movies, and you mentioned that as well a little bit. Kind of like having the
Absolutely.
movies on in the native language and then the subtitles in English. and or the other way
Wow.
around. I'm not sure, but that's how he learned, and that's how sometimes when we'd be chilling at the Airbnb in Florida, we'd be watching movies and not usually in Spanish, but the subtitles were always in Spanish, and that was kind of nice for me to kind of try to learn the Spanish because you know a little bit of Spanish
Right.
too, right?
No, a little bit. I can understand. Oh, not like beginner level though. Do you know
Okay,
Spanish at all? I know
un
you went to
poco.
Mexico.
Yeah, I studied it. I got a minor in it, so
Oh wow.
4 years, but
So you can get by.
I went to Mexico City and I was humbled. Dude, everybody there, no one there looked like me, but everyone knew that I definitely wasn't, from there. And the Spanish came and went. But yeah, man, so you came to the US, as we mentioned, full ride. Sounds like a dream. Why did it feel a little heavier once you got here? Like you were kind of like the kid who made it. So you speak about your family and such. What kind of pressure did that put on you?
Right. So I mean, I would say the pressure really started the sophomore year of college. So the freshman year of college, like you mentioned, just enjoying myself, living the dream, I would say. But then sophomore year, everything hit, living away from home, not having that support, the foundations, and having to build a new identity. I think that was the hard part, like letting go of who I believed I was,
Mm,
and then trying to hold on to something new, something better. I think the internal changes, that's what made it hard, the internal growth.
yeah,
Dude, it's hard, man. Like moving across the world, you become homesick, new responsibilities. You get hit with a lot of new things, a lot of changes.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, your environment is a huge indicator on your growth and the people that you're around. And then that impacts the internal. Like there's different levels to it. Like who you are is based on who you're around and where you're at. The environment, I believe, is definitely like it's the biggest. It does impact a lot of different things and influences, and then the people you're around. Because if you're in a really interesting environment, but you don't have strong people around you, all you are is with yourself in a different environment. Like you got to have iron sharpens iron. I know you've got a pretty strong group down there in Dallas, and Diego was one of the first people you met too. So was that around sophomore year, or was that after when you met
So
Diego?
yeah, man. So yeah, like right after sophomore year, that's when COVID came around too. 2020
Yes.
March.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a normal spring break, and then next thing you know, COVID started. So COVID started, the summer happened, everybody, doing their own thing, quarantine. And then I met Diego the following semester in college. So,
Got you. Okay, let's talk about COVID for a little bit. So that was kind of when things went a little sideways for you. And I think we both can resonate a bit with a lot of people during the pandemic. We're like, what are we going to do? So you turned a little bit to some vices. You talked about escaping with nicotine and drugs. Can you go a little bit more in depth on that?
absolutely, yeah. I mean, that was definitely a rough part of my life. COVID started, like I said, I thought it was going to be just another spring break. And then they extended the break for one more week. And then, hey, you don't got to come back for the semester. Next thing you know, uh, COVID, world is
Mm,
shut down. So really, it was tough for me because all of my friends, they left, they went to their homes. As an international student, I was really one of the few people living in the dorms, in the
mm,
college or campus apartments. So not a lot of people to interact with, and I'm a very social person. So I need energy, or I'm an extroverted person. I get energy from being around people, and not having that was like, whoa, like
yeah.
this is huge, and I didn't know how to cope with that. And then uh, in that phase of my life, I kind of started uh, experimenting with psychedelics, a
Yep.
lot of nicotine, a little bit of drinking here and there, not too much, but yeah, man, a lot of psychedelics. I dyed my hair blonde.
Dang. Yeah, you
Very
mentioned that.
questionable decision.
Oh my goodness. So your whole hair was blonde?
Yeah, my whole hair, it was actually blue.
No
So
way.
yeah, it faded and became blonde. And just like trying out new things, trying to figure out who am I,
Yeah.
Again, going back to the identity thing,
Mm,
it's really rough. Like, who am I if I'm not the person, because my identity was now based around, or I built my identity around, Kushal is the social guy. Everybody knows him around campus. I used to do a tour guide. I used to be a
mm,
tour guide for my campus as well. And then not having that, I'm like, who am I now? Got to figure myself out. Am I a musician? Am I a runner? Well, it was rough. Yeah.
You do have a lot of different skills, which is pretty cool about you, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah. And yeah, definitely an identity crisis. I've been there. And yeah, you're an extrovert that is used to just being around people all the time. And then you're stuck. You're told, hey, no need to come back to campus. You're just going to be isolated. And yeah, you couldn't even go to your family.
Exactly, man. Like it was scary. I mean, airports were getting shut down too, I believe, but travel restrictions, without COVID shots, you couldn't travel anywhere.
Yeah.
So you couldn't go home. I mean, it was pretty rough in Nepal too. I wouldn't want to be there at that time. It was very, like, you couldn't leave the house. There's police everywhere. It's very scary.
Yeah, the identity crisis, with that as well, it comes boredom. And if we don't have strong foundations, especially of our faith and such, at least for me, when I was 20 years old, during COVID, I didn't know anything about the Bible and such besides, just being Catholic growing up and such. But I definitely turned to, some drugs as well, because what are you supposed to do, dude? It's go to the bluff, do some bad vices, and then make a pizza, and that's your day. and that's why I'm glad that I think you and I have both really stepped away from those vices, because it's too easy. And I remember telling Diego this too, like, I really called him out one time, and I bring him up just because I know he's a mutual friend of ours. He introduced us. I was like, bro, you're the only friend I have that vapes. Like, you're the only friend I hang out with that has, like, a vape. And he really took that into heart, and he quit. And sometimes we got to show our tough love to those people and realize that those vices, when you just, like, it shouldn't be so easy to get dopamine of just picking up something and going,
right, yeah.
It's way too easy. We're chasing a way deeper fulfillment. And that's why you and I are in such good alignment, because we have some deep convos on Snap many times.
Absolutely.
But I want to dive back into Dallas and that time period. So you dyed your hair, searching for identity, and you started working, and then life hit you financially. I want you to talk a little bit about your $8,000 in debt. What did that wake you up to?
Right. And not a lot of people know about this, but yeah, when I left East Texas to move to Dallas, or the area, I had a commission-only sales job. That was my first job outside of college. Really rough. And I ended up accumulating about $8,000 in credit card debt, right? Like, I had to fix my car, had to do, things would come up. So I did accumulate a lot of debt. So that really crushed me, like, hey, how did I get in this position? Am I ever going to get out of it? So it's just a lack of financial discipline coupled with circumstances that I was not prepared for that led me to that situation. $8,000. And it was credit card debt, right? You get hit with interest, 27% back then. 2022, interest rates were pretty high. Not fun. Yeah.
No bueno. Yeah. Dude, I've been there, man. You read the book. I got to give a big shout out to you, bro. Huge praise. When I was first writing Scars to Strength, I had Kushal read it. He was one of the first people to read it before it ever got published. And dude, I really appreciate you for doing that, man. For real. You gave me some really good criticism.
I'm absolutely honored for that. And the part about your financial story, where you had to overcome the debt, that really resonated with me as well. Kind of had a similar journey. Yeah. Overcoming the credit card debt. Absolutely, man.
Dude,
work on the book though.
Thank you. Yes, Law Number 19, Slay the Debt Dragon. It's all about perception, man. I mean, there's people that $2,000 in debt or $3,000 in debt might seem like an exponentially lot versus 8,000 versus, I was 100,000. Doesn't matter how much it is, it's still debt, and it looms over you, and you've never experienced it before, and it forces you to have to really grow up and learn faster. So I think it's a really good thing.
In debt. How old were you when you had that debt?
I was like 21, 22. I was like 22, 23. It was right out of college, and I was like, all right, it's no more time for thinking about, I have no excuse now. I don't have classes. I'm out of the party scene. I'm fully in. I'm going all in. I started investing in all these programs. I don't regret it, but it was a necessary growing pain. And that's how it is with any kind of financial debt you get into. It's there to teach you something.
Yeah, I mean, being that young, though, it does teach. It does make you grow up fast, right? Like, dude, $2,100,000 in debt. You took it for the business, so um, you can't really regret too much. But I mean, it makes you grow up fast. That's a huge responsibility having to pay that off.
When you were at the 8,000 in debt, do you feel like you always knew there was a light at the end of the tunnel, and or did you ever feel like, oh gosh, like this is overwhelming? What am I gonna do?
No, man, I didn't have an idea of when it would be over or if it would be over at all. But you got to always have faith. That's actually when I started developing my faith.
Hmm.
I would say just in a higher power because I mean, miracles started happening. I would say, random opportunities at a random, like you're not expecting anything, but you get a random opportunity, career growth, money comes in from a source you were not expecting. Random things started happening, and I just had to believe. But yeah, it did make me
Yeah.
grow up fast. Yeah.
Yeah, they say, I don't want to butcher it in the Bible, but it talks about how the rich man has a harder time getting into heaven than a camel into a needle, the eye of a needle.
I the needle. Yeah.
But every poor man knows God, because I feel like many times we're forced into, whether it's a financial burden and or, we have to eat the bitter fruit of living our own way. Many times I think God humbles us and brings us back to have to lean on him. And for you at that time, maybe that was the first time that you got woken up to faith, you mentioned. So that was, everything happens for a reason, right?
Absolutely. And these are also lessons, right? It's like playing a video game. It's just another level, and you conquer it. You get better, and then you
Yes.
move on. New level, new devil. That's what they say.
Yeah, dude, that's real. I love
Yeah.
video games. Dude, recently my sisters and I, it was on Christmas Day. I was so close. I was caving in on buying a PS5. I'm like, oh my gosh, like we're playing Super Smash Bros. You ever played that?
A little bit, not too much.
Okay, I was playing that with my sisters, and I knew that my buddy Kevin had that Nintendo Switch or whatever, and it was exponentially better version. So it was like this old video game we played when we were younger, but it's a way better version. I'm like, oh my
Right.
gosh, this would be so much better if we had this, but it would take so much time away from the business. It's not fair to it. You got to make sacrifices. You got to make your life a video game. That's the compromise, right?
Right.
Let's
Like
go.
you said, the other day you posted on your story is you got to say no to what's not your priority right now. You got to say no to
Yes.
everything else.
It's a
Yeah,
season of no right now. I was thinking about that a lot recently. I'm glad that you resonated with that. Yes,
I
bro.
loved it.
So, speaking of season of no, you took a while to get back to Nepal. You spent your time in the US, but back in 2023, you returned and you mentioned that something shifted. So, can you tell us, what did that reset give you that you didn't have before? What was it like going back?
Right. So I had spent about 5 years in the in Texas, and then around June, summer of 2023, decided to go back, and I had no idea what my life was going to look like. No long-term plans. Um, well, I did have some long-term plans, but I had no idea, no certainty of whether I was going to come back or not. So dealing with that uncertainty, but learning to still trust the process, I think there was a moment where I was just like, hey, I'm just going to let go. I'm just going to let go of trying to control my outcomes. I'm just going to let go of trying to be analytical about everything, trying to calculate every step. It's just not working and it's draining me. And that's part of why I went back to, take some time off and relax. But yeah, when I let go, everything started feeling good. Everything started aligning. I started reading the right books too. For some reason, like books would call to me. I feel like certain books, like for instance, there's a book called "The Road Less Traveled."
Ooh.
You should look it up. Awesome book, and it's about a psychologist who wrote it, a therapist, psychotherapist, and he's also a man of faith. So I learned a lot from that book. Um, Kind of live my life according to it these days. But yeah, things started clicking, man. Like ever since I went back and I decided to let go, I feel like I've just been hitting green lights after green lights. Things have just been working out.
Have
After
you,
I came back, 2024,
yeah.
2025, it's just kind of unreal how things started working out.
I love that. Well, you started in really investing into your knowledge and yourself. And have you ever read the book Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey?
I actually have, yeah.
That's
I
when
love that
you
book.
said Green Lights. So I was like, okay, he's definitely read it, dude. Yeah, I'm going to check out The Road Less Traveled. That sounds good by M. Scott Peck, M.D.
Sounds right. Sounds about right. I forgot the
You
name of the
read?
author, but that's it. Yeah.
Good, dude. That's amazing. 5 years without seeing your family, that had to have hit different. Did they ever visit you in the United States?
So during the 5 year period, I had gone back once
Okay,
for a
got you,
month.
got you.
Yeah, that was before COVID. But yeah, aside from that, I hadn't really seen them, and I don't know, like being young and away from home, you kind of don't want to talk to your family that much. I don't know if you feel the same way
No,
or
I get
felt the
it.
same way.
Yeah, when I was in college, I lived 20 minutes away from my parents' house, and I'd only see them to go do laundry and or that's pathetic. Laundry or dinner, dude. I was very selfish and not as family focused growing up. For me personally, just when I was that age, now I appreciate them exponentially more. When I was in Florida, same kind of thing. That's a better comparison, I think, to how you are in Texas versus Nepal, Florida to Wisconsin. And yeah, sometimes you just want to like distance yourself. And you got, I mean, it's biblical. We have to leave the household and we need to, you know, make our own family. We have to go our own way. We have to go the road less traveled, right?
Road less traveled, absolutely. So I kind of was in the same situation. I didn't really want to connect with them that much. So when I went back after 5 years, it was awesome because I feel like I had grown up a little bit, and obviously I had paid off the debt. So I feel like I was accomplished. Like I had proven things to
Mm,
myself. I felt more like a man rather than a boy when I had gone back. I could relate to my dad a little bit more, because you grow up and then you start appreciating your dad or respecting him
right.
more to kind of relate to what he went through. So it was good. I feel like I had grown up a
Yes.
little bit. Yeah.
Good, bro. Walk me through. So then you came back you came back for grad school. So how long were you in Nepal that moment you said that was for a month or just a couple weeks?
Ooh. So actually, yeah, when I went back in 2023, I was there for 6 months.
Got you. And you decided to come back. Dude, that is very motivating for me. Oh my gosh, thank you for saying that. So 6 months, you're back in your routine by then, right? You're like that's a lifestyle that you're pretty used to then, but you still knew you wanted to go back. Walk me through that because you came back with no car, no plan, but you had the faith. So I want to know what was the scariest part of that leap?
Yeah. And Shane, I'm going to be as candid as possible. Um, Man, I was debating on whether I should talk about it or not, and feel free to leave it in there if it sounds good. Feel free to take it out, edit it out the video. But at the time, I had a lady in my life, and she was in America. She was in Texas. I've told you about this as well. But yeah, I mean, when I went back to Nepal, she was still here. So that distance, I feel like gave me the fuel to come back. Even with the uncertainty, like I told you earlier, I had faith that I would come back. And yeah, that distance, long distance, being in a long distance relationship, it trumped over any fear that I may have had,
Mm,
making that transition. It didn't feel scary at all. I had so much faith, this desire was so strong to reconnect, with the woman,
yeah.
but also just to have a better life, right? To make moves. Because in Nepal, I wasn't really doing much. My life was plateauing, so I had to make moves,
It's a little
So
slower
yeah,
pace.
the desire was greater than the fear, I guess, to summarize.
I like that. I like to, in a similar way, I see Wisconsin as it gives me roots. I feel a lot more like building my foundation of the origins of where strength started and such. It's absolutely Wisconsin, but it's definitely slower where you come from. And then if you can move somewhere, like for Florida for me and for Texas for you, you surround yourself in a environment that you purposely went to for growth, for being around more people in alignment, whereas faster pace movement, then it can definitely breed more growth. And I thought, for me at least, Florida gave me wings. That's the way I see it. Is like grounded in Wisconsin. They gave me roots, and then wings in Florida. I think that is kind of similar for you too, maybe for Dallas.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I went to grad school for business analytics. Trying to be successful in the corporate world right now. I feel like Dallas is the place to be.
Yeah,
Similar for you, like Florida is a place to be for a fitness brand. I feel like there's
it's got a lot of potential.
yeah. I mean, there's so much success out there, so much inspiration. I mean, like we were talking about earlier, like the environment makes you who you are.
Yeah,
It is going to affect you and change you. So that's how it is for me. But I'm not sure if I'm going to be here for a lot longer.
yeah.
Yeah, but we never
Yeah,
know.
we don't know, bro. Anything could happen. I don't even know if Florida's the move. Who knows? I just know that I think you and I both we are willing to take leaps of faith, and that's when God's gonna reward us. Is because closed mouths don't get fed. You have to go out. You have to speak on what you want. You have to actually have that actionable, habits of going out and paving your own path. And a lot of people, they like to talk about it. They plan. They're really good at planning, but then the execution just never happens. But you're one of the few that actually went out. You moved. Yeah, you're making it happen. Grad school and such. So I want to talk a little bit about. You said in your intro for me, you said faith the size of a mustard seed. What does that mean to you? Day to day.
Yeah, so on the day that's actually from the Gospels of Matthew, I believe,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so I listened to this guy called Dr. Wayne Dyer. If anybody's watching this video listening, they should check him out. He's the guy who taught me how to have faith. And he's the one who introduced me to the concept of having faith the size of a mustard seed. I mean, it's the smallest seed. I think you talked about it in the last video that came out. Forgot his name. He's a really
Oh,
cool
maybe
guy.
Isaac?
You said Isaac?
Yeah.
I think it was Isaac. Yeah, he talked about mustard seed, smallest seed, but it grows to be the biggest plant. So something similar to that. I mean, you don't need faith that big. You just need to keep watering it for the seed to grow, and then eventually people will see it. Once the plant grows, people will start seeing what you've become.
That's very true. Yeah, and sometimes your faith, it'll be bigger, it'll be smaller. I don't know if that's really relevant for this plant analogy of saying a plant could shrink. It could maybe. I don't know. Maybe someday it doesn't get enough water. But sometimes for me personally, for example, this past January, I was super locked in on reading the Bible every morning. I was reading Proverbs every single day of the month because there's I think there's 31 Proverbs or something like that. 30 or 31. I can't remember. I'm butchering it. It's around there. And I was reading one per day. And then February hit and I didn't set that discipline of, okay, what book do I want to read next? But now I'm in the book of John. So we'll see
Let's go.
what's going on. But yeah, man, yeah, it definitely starts with that mustard seed. I love that. I want you to talk about, there's three main things that you mentioned: getting a car, getting a job, and getting an apartment. Which of those wins meant the most to you?
Oof. Yeah, so just to give you more context on that, obviously I came back to the United States for my grad school, and when you're a student from another country, an international student, it's a little bit restricting. You have a lot of work restrictions. So for the first year, I had to work in the college campus, right? So I could be authorized to work only in the college campus that I was attending. So I got a job at the career center. So essentially helping people, find jobs, build their career resumes, practice for interviews. So that really showed me a different side of the academic and corporate world when I was working there. Like we had so many students there that would come in on a weekly, daily basis. Everybody's so scared, and as you may know, the job market is scary right now, and it was when I was working there as well, 2024. And you have so many people with so many big dreams. Everybody's trying to achieve the same goals. So it was honestly, it put me in a mind state of like, hey, can I even be successful? Once I do get the authorization to work off campus wherever I want to, can I find a job? And then going back to the job at the career center, you're dealing with so many people and you start picking up on their energies. And I'm not sure if you relate to it as well, but when you're trying to help people, you got to help yourself too. You got to set time aside, be mindful of, hey, at the end of the day, I got to be strong before I go out there and help people. I got to have strong foundations, got to be good, as I am. So I was letting those energies affect me some days, and I feel like seeds were planted in my head of doubt. So doubting myself, am I going to get a job? I don't know how the job market is so bad right now. Like, just the negativity, I picked up on those. Everybody would say the job market is bad, man.
Yeah.
Dude, it's such a easy thing to say. Just blame the job market. Don't take any action. Don't, it's just.
No, I totally hear you.
Yeah, but it affected me, and that's why getting the job, I feel like, was the biggest, milestone for me. It's like, okay, I believed, and it paid off.
Yes.
I didn't succumb to the negativity.
I love that. Yeah. I was thinking about that on my drive into the warehouse today, about your dreams need to be in your goals and your ambitions. You got to have the mindset, at least for me personally, I was trying to tell myself this goal. You have to have such big goals that there's no room for doubt, because every single person in life is going to have their own small comments they make. And obviously we talk about in the Bible, it mentions your words can speak life or death. And I think a lot of people, it's like you want to be very careful with what you say to others, but don't take to heart too much of what people say to you. So it's having that discernment, because when people make small comments, like for example, no shade to my dad at all, but he says, "You're up already? Like you're going to work already?" This morning, it's like 6:30. It's not that early. And I remember last night he told me he was getting up early to go to work as well, because that's kind of how I have a hard work ethic, is because my dad is in a similar office to me right now working. But it's not like he's bashing what my goal is of getting up early. It's more so, and I hate to like bring my dad up as an example for this, but it's a little bit of projection. He's saying, "Oh, you're up already?" Not because it's like he's upset that I'm up early. It's affecting him. And so a lot of people, like for your example, the job market, they'll say, they'll make these excuses. "Oh, it's too bad. Like you can't find a job because of X, Y, and Z, these things out of your control." But you have the goal, hey, I'm still going to get a job. I'm not going to let this hold me back. And then you go out and get it. And then people might hear you got a job. I don't know if anybody ever did after you did. I don't want to assume that they were like envious or whatnot, but probably you made people type of way that didn't have a job, that maybe doubted you. Yeah, people love to plant seeds of doubt, and we got to act like we don't have room for it.
Man, yeah, I loved what you just said, man. Like a couple of things there. You said something about projections. Other people project their beliefs and limitations onto you. You also said something that really caught my attention. It went out of my head just now.
Yeah, the doubt, man. We gotta just we gotta have such big goals and the discernment of, yeah.
Before I forget, that's what you said. You said you gotta have goals so big that you have no room for doubt. Like the goal is so scary that there's no room for doubt. I love that, because that's how it was last year, man. If I didn't have that job, I don't know what I would be doing financially. I don't know how I would pay for school. Like I keep a spreadsheet of my budget and I track my cash flow. So I kind of know what I'm going to spend for the year and how much money I would need. And around the time I started my main job right now, dude, the cash flow bucket was draining. Like it was leaking. Let me tell you that. It was scary. I don't know how I was going to make it happen in 2025 if I didn't get that job. There was no room for doubt, like you said.
No.
I had to block everything out. So I loved the phrasing there.
Let's go. Good, man. So you also ran a marathon. What the heck, bro? Talk me through that. What did finishing that race, how did that affect you mentally?
Dude, that's a good story too. I mean, when I started my training, I don't know if you know, there was a lot of things happening in the world. I mean, there still is a lot of negativity in the world, but back then, I was consuming a lot of politics, a lot of the news. I don't want to get into it, but there war across the world.
Yeah.
Governments being dethroned. even in America, crazy things happening. But I was like, you know what? I just need to do something crazy. And my friend had already signed up for a marathon. So I was like, I'm going to do this marathon, something big, something scary. And I signed up, and it was a whole journey, man. I mean, you grow so much doing something so challenging. And I finished it in December. And I'll tell you this, I only trained 2 days out of the week. So it was, I don't know, it was very
That's
interesting.
crazy, dude. How far were you running on these training days?
Max, I was doing 18-mile long runs.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
Dang. Do you feel like genetically, do you have other, like your family members big into running or?
I don't think so, but I don't know. I don't have anybody in my family who, and like I said, there's not a culture of fitness in
Yeah,
Nepal, no
that's
running,
my
no
question.
gym, but maybe it's untapped potential in the genetics. Maybe I'm the
Dude,
first one to figure it out.
you're a beast, bro.
I don't know.
I don't like to say I can't, but I've never even considered running a marathon. So major props to you, bro. That's insane discipline. And so you've learned discipline is built in these boring moments sometimes, right? What can you talk me through what are these boring moments in life right now that you feel like really build your discipline?
Right now, uh, so obviously I finished the marathon a couple months ago. So that, in a way, marathon is flashy. Training for a marathon seems flashy. There's a huge motivation. There's a huge end goal. You visualize taking pictures, kind of like this conversation. You bring it comes up and people get impressed. So you have that vision in your head. So it is flashy in a way. It's not boring when you're training
Hmm.
for a marathon. But let's say going to your job every day or going to the gym every day, and it's not flashy. You got to show up every day. You got to show up with your best attitude every day.
Mm.
Got to put the best foot forward. You don't know if it's going to pan out in the long run. You just got to keep doing your best, man. Brick by
Yeah.
brick. You
Brick
got to
by
build it.
brick. Yeah, dude, that's good. We talked about it with the book as well, Law Number 20, Master the Mundane. I think that's one of the hardest lessons that I've had to learn. And, the universe, or sorry, not university, the universe will continue to teach you. God will put you through similar situations until you learn the hard lessons. And I feel like the mundane of the boring work, the unsexy work is the most important many times, and it's easy to get distracted by big flashy objects, but if we can have that recognition, it's not good to go after new ambitions all the time and to just stick to the system. I think strength could be exponentially bigger right now if I just would have stuck to one thing. But that's why I'm learning now. We're getting these reps in, we're doing the show. People will see as they watch this, it's the same kind of setup each time, just different guests. And you
Right.
guys are all so unique. I was talking to my mom this morning. I'm like, yeah, so I got Kushal coming on. I got these three other guests, and I talked about their background. She's like, where do you find these people? We have I don't know, your vibe attracts your tribe, and I think if you just be your authentic self, you're gonna attract cool people in your life.
Absolutely. I love the gems, man. You have vibe attracts your vibe attracts your tribe. I
Yep.
love it.
Yes.
Those are the things that stick. I'm gonna take that away from this conversation. I'm gonna remember it. I love it. Yeah.
Let's go, bro. Of course. So you told me you don't have everything figured out yet, and you're okay with that. How has your definition of success changed over the years? And also for someone that's listening right now who actually let's hold off. How do you define success for yourself right now, Kushaw?
Oh, that's really interesting. So that's really where the next steps I'm trying to figure out. Obviously finishing grad school, running that marathon, checking off those goals. 2026 has been more so about figuring out the next steps. Like, who do going back to the identity, figuring out who I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure, man. How do I define success? I would say like helping other people, right? Like getting the job, finding financial discipline while feeling good about money. I work in finance, so I think about money a lot, but these things, like, I feel like I've learned so much that I can help other people with.
Mm-hmm.
How to think of money, how to manage money. Because as you know, I think you've discussed this in the book as well. Like money has like a masculine component of it, where you need to obviously be disciplined. You need to have a plan. But also there's like a feminine component to it where you need to be free and not hold on to it too tightly. And
Right.
you need to feel good about it. So there's a feeling and logic aspect of it. I find that really interesting, and I feel like money is so important to people in society. Like I would love to help people with it, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like success would for next steps, maybe that's what it is for me, finding a way to help people with that.
Let's go. It's good. Yeah, the service of helping other people is definitely meaningful, and it can, especially when it's based on your strengths of being in that world already with your job, then that sounds good to me, bro. I want you to finalize this for someone that's listening right now that might be in the middle of becoming, and or maybe you just want to speak to younger Kushal back with the Pudge that was trying to figure it out. What would you want to say to him?
I would say keep the fire going, man. I would say keep the fire going. Lean on people that make that. Lean on people that make you feel the spark.
Yeah.
Right. But it's gonna be your job at the end of the day to keep the fire going, to turn the spark into a fire and keep it lit. I guess in other words, like lean on people and then, but take self accountability, help other people along the way, and keep. I guess to my younger self, I would say keep doing what you're doing, and it's gonna work out at the end.
Yeah, dude, literally. I haven't reached that yet. Exactly. No, that's so good, bro. And yeah, it's hard to lean on people when you don't feel like you have anybody yet, and that's the lonely chapter that a lot of these podcasts refer to. But we just got to have faith and trust that, like you said, your vibe attracts your tribe. You just keep putting in that work. If it's a lack of people around you and you feel like you don't have enough people around you, perhaps you need to develop yourself more. And that's why, dude, you've picked up the books. You got way more into that. Think about how much that's impacted your life just by investing in yourself. And a lot of people don't pick up books after age 18, they say.
Right, dude. And even these days, I don't want to call anybody out, but some of my friends, they get their information from like YouTube videos, audiobooks.
Yeah.
Great source of information at the end of it, better than Reels and TikTok. But reading a book makes you slow down. You know, it's more of an intimate process, and you change yourself from within when you read a book. It's so important. Like it's changed my life. Like in The Road Less Traveled, in that book we were talking about earlier, it really talks about discipline, you know, as a form of self-love, and also like how to help other people in your life, because you can't help yourself and not care about anybody else.
Right.
You got to make a impact in the community as well. So like that book really changed me. It's shaped who I am today. So I'm just to circle back, like you got to read books, or you got to invest in yourself one way or the other, whether that is through mentorships or being a part of a team, maybe.
Yeah. Dude, that's why I want to finalize this by saying, dude, you're one of the few people that I talk to on not a daily basis, but you're someone that I know if I reach out to that I can get a very solid feedback from, and I really value your opinion because obviously we have to be careful with, you got to protect your energy, but at the same time you got to help others. But I'm picky with who I lean on for the iron sharpening iron as to who's in alignment with the mindset and such. You're someone that I think is definitely in alignment, and I always appreciate our friendship and that Diego got us introduced and that you came on the pod, bro, for real. It means a lot to have you here, and I'm excited for hopefully getting to reconnect soon, whether it's in Florida or wherever, bro, because, yeah, you're a good guy and you got a bright future.
Hey, thank you so much, man. Shane, I appreciate you too. And I feel honored, man, again, being a part of the book process, writing the book, being on this podcast. I feel absolutely honored. And definitely, we got to meet up 2026 or 2027.
Yeah, bro. Dude, where can they find you on socials?
Oh, I'm not that active. I should be more active, but I am on Instagram. Yeah, Instagram's probably the best platform.
What's your username? Do you know?
So it's Kushal09, or I think it's _ Kushal09 _.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Dude, guys.
Put it up there.
Let's go. Hey guys, if you haven't already, make sure you like the episode, hit the follow button if you're on Spotify or Apple Pod, and comment your biggest takeaway. Share this with somebody who might need to hear it. And above all, hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one.